Hey, welcome to my channel. So my name's Courtney. I'm a mom of two and married. We live in a small town in New York, and I just wanted to tell everyone about our fertility story. So we got together about 10 years ago, me and my husband, and we decided after a few years that we were ready to start our family. I had just found out I have PCOS, so I was told that the sooner that we conceive, the better. So we started trying for our first baby, and it just wasn't happening. And after a year, I went back to my doctor, and they said, all right, let's try Clomid. So I got the blood work done and everything. Found out I do not ovulate very often. So we did the Clomid for about 6 months. Now, this isn't a 6 months straight because I would overreact to the Clomid. And then I wouldn't ovulate, or I'd ovulate late, and the timing wasn't meeting up with what it needed to be to conceive. So we decided that we were just going to take a break. It was just too stressful. We were over it. So I went on birth control because I had some large cysts, and then we decided, that I was going to go off it, and we were just going to go with it. The following month after the birth control, we got a nice surprise. I had left work. I was a CNA, and I was working evening shifts, so I went to the Walmart with my girlfriend after work, and I was like, you know what? I don't get periods very often, so I was like, maybe I should just take a test for the heck of it. So I take a test, and my sister was over, my sister-in-law was there, and I started crying. It was positive, very, very positive. I couldn't believe it. So I went out there and I told my sisters, I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Like, I can't believe this right now. I was very, very shocked. And then I had my mom go get me 2 better tests. We got some first response, and we got a digital, and surprise, surprise, they were positive. And 9 months later, my almost 10 pound, my little 9 pound, 4 ounce boy, so not so little, was born, Brody. He was a very big boy. I was very, very shocked, kinda, because my body was huge. But the pregnancy went pretty well. Shortly after he was born and we were home and we were all settled in, we decided that we weren't going to take birth control, and if we were to get pregnant, we would be fine with that. Let's see, I want to say about 2 years down the road, we got engaged and decided that, hey, like, it'd be really nice if we could plan this wedding, not stress about it, whatever. So we planned our wedding. We got married in July 2015. At that point, I started Clomid again. We went on our honeymoon. Clomid wasn't working. So we decided with the doctors that it'd be best if we had gone to a fertility specialist. So we got the consultation and the appointment set up. We went to the specialist, and they decided that we would try Femera. So we did Femera and a trigger shot with and it just wasn't working. I was responding, but I just wasn't ovulating, whatever. So we did that a couple rounds. Then we decided that it would be a good idea for me to start the injections with the trigger shot. So we got the Gonal F pen, and we did the trigger shot, and it took quite a few more months with that to figure out what levels of the Gonal F I needed. Now, you're going in there, for people that do fertility, you would know, you're doing blood work. You're going in 2 to 3 times a week. You're getting monitored. It was very, very stressful. It put a lot of stress on my husband because I was always upset. I was crying every time our 2-week wait was up and I got the phone call that it was negative. It was extremely stressful, and we were ready to give up. It was too much for us, and I had another child at home. He was almost 4. So my doctors decided, they said, maybe we should move on to IVF, and they gave us the numbers, and I said, listen, like, I can't afford that. Like, we don't want to stress our income and our finances for this when we have another child at home. I said, why don't we use because my insurance was almost exhausted. I said, why don't we do one more IUI with the injections and the trigger. So this would be 7th IUI. And we did it, and everything seemed actually to go very smoothly. I can't remember how many follicles I had, but I had quite a few. I want to say 7 on one side, mature, 5 or 6 on the other side. They gave us the talk that we should probably skip the cycle because there was too many and we were at high risk for multiples. And we said, no, we're not skipping. This is the last IUI we're gonna do. We just want to do this. We have a good feeling about it. Then they gave us a talk about if we were to get more than twins, that they would prefer it if we reduced. And they explained that to me and my husband, and we just were not on board. We're not comfortable with that, and I knew the risk of having multiples. So we went ahead with the IUI. It was me, my mom, and my son in the room when I got it done. My husband was working, and I remember the nurse's name was Susan, and I thought it was funny because that's my mom's name, and I just had like a really good vibe. The IUI didn't hurt this time. It just felt very peaceful. So I go into my 2-week wait, and I started getting crampy towards the end of it, and I was like, I'm gonna get my period. Like, it didn't work. I'm giving up. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't do this anymore. And so me and my husband were like, well, because I'm crampy, whatever, let's go out for your birthday. So we went to a casino for my birthday, and they have like country nightclubs and stuff in there. And we went with all our friends, and we got hotels, and it was a really fun time. And in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't drink because I could be pregnant. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm cramping. I'm totally gonna get my period. So we came home. And in a couple days, it was going to be my birthday, and I decided, you know what, I don't want to wait for them. So it was the day before, the day I got my blood work, and the day before they were going to call. So I took a test, and it was positive. It was very positive. I was so excited and then so nervous because I was like, I think everything should be fine. So I didn't tell my husband. I waited till the next day, and they called, and the woman was like, instead of saying I'm sorry, she was like, Courtney, she goes, happy birthday, you're pregnant. And it was the best birthday gift I think I've ever received. So I told my mom, and I went to the dollar store, and I got this cute little box, and they had Christmas stuff out, and it was like frozen, and something about this is a gift or something, and a magical gift. And I put the tests in there, and I got a baby on board stein for the car, and I stuck that over top the tests. And my husband came home, and my sister was in the room, and I said, and my son, and I said, I got you a present. And he said, what? I said, yeah, I just felt like getting you a present. And he opened it up, and he looked at me because it was frozen, and he was like, what the heck is this? And it was a test, and it was just such a surreal moment because I think he was in shock. Like, he didn't believe that I was pregnant because we had been going through this for so long, and I don't know, it was just a shock. But the moral of the story is don't give up, because it can happen. God has so many miracles and blessings for us if you just believe. If you start feeling stressed, just try not to stress. Try to remember that it will happen eventually, and if it doesn't, you have other options to expand your family. But it can happen, and it happened to me twice. I have 2 boys. I love them so much, and we actually are going to start trying to conceive for our 3rd baby soon. We set up an appointment with a new clinic. They're highly rated. It's Central New York Fertility in New York. Lots of people from all around the country go to them. Their numbers are fabulous for IVF. I want to say the quote was like 3,900. And they have in-house financing and all that stuff. I don't know if we're going to do for the IVF. I think we're going to try the IUI again. I had all my records sent over to them, so I'm very excited. That's in a couple weeks, and we'll see how it goes. But if you guys want to follow us on our TTC journey for number 3, please follow me. I think it'd be great to have some followers and supporters that are going through the same thing or have gone through the same thing. But yeah, so it was great talking and telling all of you about my story. And if you want to stay with me and follow us on our journey with our updates, please subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. And I look forward to the journey. Bye.